I'd like to just get straight into the Jadon Sancho thing, and we,
Mm.
we should we should clarify that we're pre-recording on Tuesday evening, so the situation may change by the time you hear or watch this. What's your take on that? What Ten Hag said and Sancho's response?
I can see it from both sides, really. I mean, if you're Ten Hag, you're probably looking at Sancho, who this is his third season now. We spent a lot of money on him. He's on what's he on? 300 grand a week, three and a half a week, maybe. He's on a lot of money. He's had, I don't know, two or three good games for us, if that. Solskjaer couldn't get a tune out of him. Ranić couldn't. Ten Hag can't. Southgate's complained about his training attitude. Borussia Dortmund did. So this isn't Ten Hag picking on someone. Maybe he's just end of his tether, trying to get a reaction out of him. But it hasn't gone down well. Clearly his relationship with Sancho can't withstand that, and a lot of managers can get away with things like that, can't they? But Ten Hag certainly can't.
Why not?
Well, because he's not a good enough manager. He's not achieved enough, and he clearly doesn't have a good enough relationship with Sancho that he's allowed to needle him like that in the same way that other managers get away with it. So it's clearly not gone down well. But if you're Sancho, he's maybe sat there thinking, well, been bought for a lot of money. Nobody knows how to play. Nobody knows how to use him effectively. He kind of likes passing football and 1-2s and possession football. He's playing with a lot of people who like to counter attack. And Fernandez has got a lot of qualities, but keeping the ball and being nice and tidy with it isn't a Fernandez skill set. Fernandez likes to try 10 things, and if three of them come off, he's happy with it. So you've got that. Maybe he looks at the treatment Anthony's getting, Greenwood, Rashford, all these wide players, and thinks, well, hang on, their performances, their attitude, their behaviours worse than mine, and yet Sancho doesn't get a run of games in the team. But then the flip of that is to flip it back again. Is Sancho never played well enough to get a run of games in the team? So it's just a mess all round, and I can't really see a way out of it now longer term, because presumably Sancho's not going to stay at the club. He doesn't look suited. Well, he certainly doesn't look suited to playing for this current Manchester United team. And Ten Hag clearly doesn't fancy him. So unless they find a buyer for him in January that they can get decent money and cut the losses. But I mean, who would pay for Sancho now? I mean, it's
Ah,
a long time.
well, I was going to say, me and Sam can both think of someone. I think Sam. Any suggestions on a football club that might buy Jadon Sancho?
You tell me.
Well, I wasn't thinking of your own, mate. I was thinking of Chelsea, obviously, mate, who'd like to come for your
They'll buy
players.
everyone. They were linked with him,
Exactly.
weren't they?
He's young enough, isn't he, Gary? I think that they could
Well, I
buy
suppose.
Sancho.
Well, I mean, Chelsea can buy anyone, can't they? But I mean, he probably is young enough. But we're at least 3 years since his last good Borussia Dortmund season, aren't we? If I'd be surprised even if Chelsea went in for him, because they must. Mind you, Pochettino. I mean, maybe Pochettino thinks he can get a tune out of him, but he doesn't look suited to it to me. But we'll have to see.
It's an awkward one to talk about a little bit, because we obviously know he was given some time off last season. And none of us know why, right? And there's no point even speculating, but it might be, it's only 6 weeks since Delhi's interview and stuff. Who knows what's
No,
going
but
on, right? So it makes
that's
it such a tough one to talk about.
yeah. But you would assume, and you would hope that if there was something similar to that going on, that Ten Hag wouldn't have brought it up in this way, would he? And
You'd hope so.
given that Ten Hag, was he gave him, I don't know how long it was. He gave him a month off. Let's say it was quite a while, wasn't it? Gave him a month off in the middle of the season when we were struggling for players and rotation. And if you look at the end of our season, with most of the players were dead on the knees by April. Now, look, none of that's more important than what Sancho's well-being in the middle of last season. So clearly Ten Hag's done that once, and clearly on this occasion he didn't feel that was necessary. And if there was something similar brewing up, then he wouldn't have called him out in the press the way he has done. I wouldn't have thought, and you wouldn't expect Sancho's reactions. But if Sancho would have come out and said, "Look, I'm going through this," he wouldn't have come out in a way saying about professionalism and all that. So I know what you mean, but it feels like on this occasion that's probably not relevant to this specific situation, even if it might have been earlier on in the year.